Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got a new Yu-Gi-Oh video for you guys today. So today we're talking about something that we tested on stream and I think it has potential. We're talking about Cyber Orcust. As you guys know, Cyber Dragon's like the main crux of my Yu-Gi-Oh content. I do have other decks that I'm interested in, so if you guys want to see those other decks, let me know. Big one being Evil Eye. That's like my favorite control deck. I started messing with heroes. You guys, if you guys were on stream, I was messing with Dragon Rulers, but we're trying different versions of Cyber Dragon to see, just to expand on ideas, you know what I mean? Now, the reason I decided to mess with Cyber Orcust, I used to play that way back when because Cyber Dragon is my favorite archetype, Orcust is a powerful machine archetype, and sometimes they would gel pretty well together. They just had humongous packages, and that unfortunately is still the case. That being said, Cyber Dragon now with its new support has ways to bridge into Orcust. So a one card combo can still end on like 5 interruptions with an entire Orcust setup. So I want to show you guys the combos I came up with and maybe give you guys some ideas that we can expand on. We actually got a nice comment on our stream talking about different things for Orcust, but I want to put this out onto the channel for anybody who wants to reference it without having to watch, you know, a 4-hour stream, and we can talk about it. So I'm gonna show you a couple one card combos and then we can go from there, because the one card combos for Cyber Dragon are what set us up into where Cyber Dragon is now. But if you guys enjoy the kind of content, drop a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Let's jump in and let's check out the combo. All right, so here's the combo. We're gonna start off with core. This is gonna take us through normal Cyber Dragon stuff. So we're gonna start off with Realm. Gonna activate Realm. Realm's gonna get us into Cyber Dark Chimera. Chimera effect. Now I want you guys to keep track of the amount of summons here. So I'm gonna go with the least amount of summons I can do, which does, we are a little bit open to nib, but our opponent has to know what we're going for. So we grab Clockwork Knight. Now we're gonna go Chimera. Grab Power Bond. Now, if we're scared of nib, we're gonna have 4 of the cards in hand. We can use Clockwork Knight now, discard a card, which will get us into Scrap Recycler. But I'm gonna show you what we do with no fear of nib and wanting to maximize on the cards we have. Because now we link it to Platinum Gadget and we're gonna dump Cyber Dark Worm. So like I said, if we had another card we don't mind discarding, we would discard the card for Clockwork Knight to get Scrap Recycler, to then use Platinum Gadget to summon it, and that'll be 5 summons and we'll have access to our Orcust engine. But if we're trying to maximize on card value, we would go with Worm, dumping Hertz, bang, and now we got our Cyber Spell or Trap card back. And the reason we want to get rid of Hertz here, it used to be, you know, to get us access to OG Cyber Dragon for Therion King, but now it becomes extra discard fodder, so we never have to touch those last 4 cards in hand. Because now we're going to Clockwork Knight, discarding Cyber Dragon, grab Scrap Recycler. I could play Power Bond first to try and get into Infinity, but again, we're trying to minimize on things like Nibiru. So now we will activate Special Summon Recycler from hand. And at this point, we do not care if we get nipped. After this, we're fine. We have access to our engine, we're good. But let's just show you guys the maximum here. So we're gonna Power Bond, getting rid of you and OG Cyber Dragon. I meant to get rid of Hertz, not Core, but that's fine. That's just for follow-up potential later. But we're gonna go Nova. We're gonna Nova, detach, special summon. If that had been Core, we'd still do the same play. It's not any different. Now we're going to Infinity. Now to clear out some space, we're going to eat the Platinum Gadget. So for those of you guys that don't remember, Platinum Gadget cannot be used as a link material the turn it is link summoned. So it's basically a dead link material there. It's a vanilla now. Now we're gonna go into IP Masquerena, getting rid of these. And now we can get into our Orcust engine. So we're gonna start off with Symbol Skeleton, with Harp Horror. To bring out Girsu. Girsu effect's gonna dump 1. We are going to dump Nightmare. Then we're going to link into Galatea. Galatea's effects. We discard the extra card that we added to hand, which is going to grab us Orchestrated Babel. We can activate Orchestrated Babble right away, now turning all of our Orcust monsters into quick effects. Nightmare. Nightmare's gonna pump Infinity. Dump World Wand. World Wand. Banish World Wand. Special summon back Harp Horror. Bang. And then we're gonna link into Galatea. Now we're gonna activate old Galatea for Girsu. There's a reason we did that, because we're gonna use old Galatea, send back Girsu, because we want Girsu in the deck. Normally I would send World Wand, but you're gonna understand in a second why we did that. Get Crescendo, and now we can overlay into the boy. Now at that point, we don't have to go into Dingirsu. I did it for a setup. If we really don't feel like we need the Masquerena, let's put Nightmare. We actually could have went into the New Link 4, like especially if we're trying to like break a board as opposed to going first board. Because for anybody that doesn't know what their New Link 4 does, it takes 2 monsters, including an Orcust monster. Orcust Link monster, sorry. You can target one of your banished Orcust or World Legacy cards, add it to hand, then you can shuffle 1 card from your hand into the deck and take control of 1 face-up monster your opponent controls permanently. You can shuffle, so you can just keep the extra card in hand. During the main phase, if this card is in your graveyard because it was sent there from the extra monster zone, this turn you can banish it, send 1 card on the field to the graveyard. We can actually make this on our opponent's turn with IP Masquerena, but that's just another thing to think about. And it would have destruction protection, so your opponent would have to jump through hoops to remove it, and if they do, you could just send a card to the grave. And with Orchestrated Babble, the snag, the steal, the ability to take your opponent's monster becomes a quick effect. So that's an interesting card. But now let's look at what we have on the board here. So we have an Omni Negate with Infinity. Since we have Galatea on the board, we have an Omni Negate with Orchestrated Crescendo. We have IP Masquerena to link away Dingirsu. Linking away Dingirsu will get us into SP Little Knight, which, because we're using a monster from the extra deck, SP Little Knight will banish a monster on banish a card on someone, any card. And then if our opponent activates anything, we can banish 1 monster we control to banish another monster on the board, whether it be one of ours or one of our opponents. So that's 2 more interruptions right there. And then we have Harp Horror set up in the grave with Babble, so we can use Harp Horror, banish Harp Horror to special summon Girsu from the deck, which Girsu will then dump Crescendo, which can let us bring back Dingirsu, which Dingirsu will then send a card to the graveyard, non-targeting. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 interruptions, 6, depending on how you play it. And if our opponent tries to use big board breakers on us, then Girsu can protect our board. We can use, like, say they drop Lightning Storm on us, we can Dingirsu, which is just getting us more value out of the board we already have. So that's one combo, and then you guys see how well Cyber Dragon was able to just bridge into Orcust, and it still gives a lot of OTK potential because of the way we can abuse Power Bond in Cyber Dragons. All right, so this combo is a little bit harder to use because we're short 1 card, whereas the Cyber Dragon combo draws us into 2 extra cards. This one does not. So we will, in most cases, have to discard a card from hand to be able to get max value. So we end up with 3 cards that we get to keep. But it starts off the same way, and it bridges us almost the same way in, because unfortunately we don't have as much protection from Nib. But then again, the Cyber Dark version has never had that much protection from Nib, even with pure Cyber Dragon. So now we dump Worm, we grab Clockwork Knight, activate Worm, Worm effect, sending, it don't matter, honestly. Sending you, add back Realm, we're gonna need that for later. Now we use Clockwork Knight to send to summon Chimera. Then we use Chimera, dump Clockwork Knight, add Power Bond. Now 1, 2, 3, this was 4 summons. We used to have to use SP Little Knight's Banish to keep going, but we're gonna go without using that this time. So we're gonna go straight into Platinum Guide. That's our 5th summon. If our opponent wants to stop us, this is kind of where they have to do it. So I guess, I mean, it has okay protection from stuff. But now we can activate the effect, get our special summon for Recycler. Recycler effect goes off. Ditching. Where he at? Ditching Harp Horror. Now we have access to our Orcust line. We still have not conducted our normal summon, so now we go Rampage, banishing these two. Bang, bang. Rampage effects, dump Hurts and Core. Now the reason we don't mind going into Platinum Gadget early, if you guys remember why we used to wait to go into SP Little Knight, would be to banish Hurts from the graveyard. But because we don't need the extra body on the board, we do not need to save the body. So, to be more specific, with the Cyber Dragon, the Cyber Dark line into the Cyber Dragon combo, it used to be we would go into SP Little Knight at this point because we would still have Clockwork Knight and Chimera, and we would banish Hurts from the grave to use Cyber Little Fusion to make another Rampage without touching the core on the board, because we would want the core on the board to bounce back with Jormungandr later in the turn to get Fusion Substitute to make Heals Farog. Because we're not going for Heals Farog and we're not playing Jormungandr, we don't need to do that. So we can Cyberload Fusion using the core on the board and the core that we just banished. So that we still have our 2/5s. Which we can then go, well, we can also dump more cards. So let's dump. Again, we don't need to do that. I mean, maybe dump the Cyber Dragon, but that's fine. Now we're gonna go overlay, gonna activate effect to get an extra body. Let's call it Cyber Dragon, it's fine. Overlay into infinity. And now we go into the exact same line. The only difference being that we have to use that extra card, because now we're going to eat Platinum Gadget and then overlay into IP Masquerena. And then we can go into our Orcust line. Bringing back Girsu. Girsu effects. We're gonna dump Nightmare. I'm trying to think if there's a way I can get enough bodies on board to be able to get the extra card. But basically, I think we would have to give up IP Masquerena's interruption. Because World One, sending, bringing back Harp Horror. Hold on, I might have figured it out. Because now we'll link into you, which then lets us link into you. And then we can link into the new link. Oh. Am I doing this right? And then effects, bring back Nightmare. And then activate, banish Girsu. And then, and now we have the extra card to discard to get Orchestrated Babel. Activate Orchestrated Babel. And then we can link into Dingirsu. Dingirsu effects to attach. You know what I didn't do? I haven't used OG Galatea's effect. So I should have did that when I summoned Galatea the first time. That was my mistake. But now we're just gonna do it now anyway. Which gets us Orcust Mech Knight back in deck. So I kind of did that on purpose, kind of, sort of. Well, this is the board we end on. It's not as strong as the board we had when we went with the Cyber Dragon combo. We could have absolutely ended on that board. It would have just costed us an extra card in hand, but I wanted to see how far we could go with a true one card combo. And here we still have a minimum 3 interruptions with Crescendo, Infinity, and a Dingirsu to send. And then as long as they leave Babel on the board, we can summon back Galatea whenever we want. And when we summon back Galatea, that allows us to continue playing. Because even if they were to get rid of our other Galatea immediately, we could just summon Galatea back from the grave with this. We also have Girsu back in the deck. So we could Harp Horror, get Girsu, dump Crescendo, summon back whatever. We could actually summon back and little Girsu the Girsu, I hope that's how you say that, and just discard a card and take control of one of our opponent's cards. Or, like I said, with Ding, we could just send one. So we have a few different ways we could go about it that I kind of just pulled out of the air. But guys, that's the two main combos that I came up with. Let me know how you feel about it. I really like the first combo, the true 1-card combo. I do like that we can still get to it by using an extra card. If we end up on the Cyber Dark line, again, making it so we have 12 starters. But we also have another option if we have to want to save on the other 4 cards. I am not an Orcust master, so that combo was a little sloppy. If you guys know a way I could have refined that to make it a little bit better, because being able to always make sure we can play is something we strive for. It's how we kind of did Cyber Dragon, and that's why Cyber Dragon's been doing so well, because it has true 1-card combos now. Because everything else outside of your combo can be non-engine. Like for me, I play Fiendsmith, which I use Fiendsmith to bait interruptions to then allow Cyber Dragon to play when I only need 1 card. You guys want to check me out on social media? Those links are down below. I can't wait to hear your ideas. If you guys want to see me play some Yu-Gi-Oh live, it's going to be a little bit for the next Yu-Gi-Oh stream, but next time we are going to be playing Cyber Dragon K9, and I'm really excited to try that version because I think that's going to be the best version of the deck. That's going to be it from me, guys. I'll catch you guys on this video. Later.
See it in my eyes, I was born for this. I got demons on my side, you ain't right like this. I got reason to believe, I don't need it from my gifts. Only I can change the world and it go like this.